What happens when a place becomes a scar on the landscape? When tragedy and pain are so intense, they leave an echo, an imprint on the very walls and soil. Across the United States, there are locations where the past is not at rest, where shadows move on their own and whispers answer the wind. These are not just ghost stories. They are places stained by history, where visitors and investigators report encounters with the other side, some curious, some sorrowful, and some deeply malevolent. Tonight, we count down the top 10 most haunted places in America. Coming in at number 10, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. Guests and staff report phantom parties here, with the sounds of laughter and music echoing from the empty room. The ghosts of the original owners, Foe and Flora Stanley, are often seen overseeing their hotel. Children are heard running and giggling in these halls, even when no children are checked in. Opened in 1909, its most famous spectral event happened in room 217, where a chambermaid was nearly killed in an explosion. They say her spirit still tidies up the room for guests, but the scariest attack is in room 401, haunted by the land's previous owner, Lord Dunraven. Guests report an unseen presence pressing down on them. One man woke to the horrifying sensation of invisible hands clamped tightly around his neck, a suffocating assault in the dark. Number 9 is the Winchester Mystery House, a nonsensical mansion built to confuse ghosts. Visitors hear disembodied footsteps, banging doors, and the ghost of Sarah Winchester herself, a forlorn figure in black. After her family's death, a medium told Sarah she was haunted by spirits, killed by the Winchester rifle. The only way to appease them was to never stop building. The scariest encounters happen here, in the drill press room. One tour guide, alone after hours, felt an icy grip on her arm that left 3 distinct red finger marks, as if a ghost tried to drag her away. At number 8, we have the St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida, a historic beacon with a tragic legacy. The ghosts of 2 young sisters who drowned during its construction are often seen playing on the tower stairs. But a tall, dark, menacing figure is seen in the basement. The scariest attack involved this entity. A female guest was violently shoved against the basement wall by an unseen force, holding her there for several seconds before she fled in terror. Our number 7 is the RMS Queen Mary, a retired ocean liner known as the Grey Ghost. The ship's engine room holds its most dangerous spirit. In 1966, an 18-year-old crewman was crushed to death by watertight door number 13. His angry spirit is known to burn and scratch visitors. The most infamous attack was on a tour guide who, after taunting the spirit, was violently shoved. He saw a flash of a figure in blue overalls with a dark, menacing face lunging at him. Number 6 is not a building, but 6,000 acres of haunted ground. Gettysburg Battlefield. Visitors see full-bodied apparitions of soldiers still fighting a phantom war, and hear the sounds of cannon fire and battle cries on the wind. The area known as Devil's Den is notorious for physical encounters. The scariest attack happened to a reenactor camping nearby. He woke up screaming that a ghostly soldier was trying to pull the boots off his feet. He was left with deep red welts on his ankles from the invisible assailant. At number 5 is the Villisca Axe Murder House, the site of a brutal, unsolved mass murder. In 1912, 8 people were bludgeoned to death here in their sleep. The killer was never found. Apparitions of a man with an axe are still seen in the bedrooms. But the scariest attack was psychological. In 2014, an investigator suddenly stabbed himself in the chest. He claims he was possessed by an entity that forced him to do it, and his audio recorder captured a voice confessing to the original murders at that exact moment. Number 4 is the Lalaurie Mansion, whose beautiful facade hides a history of sadistic torture. In 1834, a fire revealed a secret torture chamber where the owner, Madame Delphine Lalaurie, had grotesquely maimed her slaves. The sounds of their agony are still heard today. The most chilling attack happened during a renovation. A worker felt a sharp slap across his face that knocked him off balance. He saw no one, but felt a wave of pure hatred and rage wash over him. Our number 3 spot goes to Eastern State Penitentiary, a former prison that perfected psychological torment. Shadowy figures dart down the cell blocks, and a disembodied, cackling laugh echoes from cell block 12. The most terrifying attack happened to a locksmith hired to remove an old lock. He claims he was gripped by an unseen, malevolent power, unable to move as visions of tormented faces swirled around him. He fled and has refused to ever enter that cell block again. At number 2 is a place some call a gateway to hell, Bobby Mackey's Music World in Kentucky. The building was once a slaughterhouse, and this well in the basement was allegedly used for satanic rituals. The demonic entities here are known to attack. The building's caretaker, Carl Lawson, was frequently pushed and scratched. The scariest attack was his demonic possession. An exorcism was performed on him inside the club, where he convulsed violently and spoke in other languages, battling for his soul on unholy ground. And the number 1 most haunted place in America is the Bell Witch Cave, the site of the only haunting in U.S. history where a spirit was officially blamed for a person's death. From 1817 to 1821, the Bell family was relentlessly tormented by a talking entity named Kate that would slap, pinch, and terrorize them. The haunting was so infamous, even future President Andrew Jackson visited, only to be chased away by the spirit. The ultimate attack was murder. Kate, the spirit, had sworn to kill the father, John Bell. After years of abuse, he fell ill. The family found this strange vial of liquid. The witch's voice boomed through the house, proclaiming, "I gave him a big dose of it." John Bell died soon after. The Bell Witch is the most terrifying paranormal attack, a case where a spirit didn't just haunt, it killed. From grand hotels to blood-soaked battlefields, these places stand as terrifying reminders that some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. They prove that the echoes of the past can sometimes scream, and sometimes they can attack